Without a dope beat, step two, step two, step two, step two, step two.
That's crispy.
Good evening, ladies and general collectors. This is your boy Wally once again. It looks like I'm gonna have to reshoot everything. I didn't have my top 10 list done for probably about a week now, and I'm using this new camera, the Canon Rebel T7, and I shot all of my videos on there, and I thought that I was gonna be able to transfer my data over to my phone, which I can't do, and I don't have a laptop. So this is definitely not my top 10 list. I just wanted to get some figures out here, so I did a lot of buys this year, and really proud of it, but have to figure out a way to get the video to you guys. I took some pretty good, some pretty okay pictures, so I mean, hopefully we can get through this and I can get all of this together and we can go on down this top 10 list, and for future references I can get some more reviews in. So, well, here we go. So number 10 on my list is the Spider-Man Classics Retro Armored Daredevil. I think the reason why I like this figure and he's number 10 on my list is because the first time I was really honestly introduced to him was in the Fall from Grace series a while back. I think it was like in '94 or something like that, and I think that was like one of the first comic books that I ever read. I think the armor on him is like it's Daredevil-esque to me, because I mean, first of all, he's blind, like, and he's agile, and like he has different armor spots on him. Like if he's moving around, flipping around, he can deflect some bullets and stuff like that. And like, just for nostalgia purposes, like in my childhood, I know it wasn't in the, well, I guess you can call it the retro packaging, but the classic packaging back then, I think it was like more or less in the Marvel superheroes, the stars and stripes packaging that we got before. And I think he's a great figure, and he goes along with a lot of other figures, like just from your 90s street characters. So number 10 on my list, definitely Armored Daredevil. Number 9 on my list is Marvel Legends Red Hulk. I think one of the reasons why I like this figure so much is because I actually missed him when the Build-A-Figure came out, and like I finally get a chance to get a Red Hulk. So after waking up at 9 in the morning going to Target to go get this figure, I mean, I'm actually satisfied with what I have. Like, I mean, it kind of sucks we didn't get an interchangeable head, but it's still like it's very expressionable, you know what I'm saying? So we have interchangeable hands with it, and like, I mean, it's just one figure. I didn't have to buy a bunch of figures to get this guy, so like that was definitely a plus too. And I mean, he's a big badass figure. It's Red Hulk. Like, I actually have another enemy for my Hulk to go against. So number 9 on my list, definitely Red Hulk. So number 8 on my list is the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Sugar Man. Now, what's so crazy about this figure that I'm thinking about right now as I'm seeing it, and I'm looking at all the other figures that I have in my collection, what other figure do you have in your collection that's a Marvel Legend that has 4 arms? And you can interchange the hands, And like, I mean, he's a great figure. He's a big, great figure. And I'm kind of keen on the Age of Apocalypse storyline, but I really didn't read a whole bunch of it. I think I got like 2 series somewhere in my collection somewhere. And I remember the classic ones because I think it was part of a Monster series, I believe. And I don't think I got him back when I was a kid, so this is me being able to get a figure that I wasn't able to get back when I was younger. So definitely number 8 on my list is this guy right here, Sugar Man. Number 7 on my list, if you know me, you know that I love me some street characters. So this guy, Moon Knight, I have read a little bit about him and I have heard what people have to say about him. He might be a Marvel Batman, but he is a pretty cool looking Marvel Batman. Maybe I shouldn't even say Batman on anything Marvel, but well, I'm saying it anyway. I mean, you can put him a part of pretty much any team or team him up with any group or anything. Like, I mean, he has the interchangeable hands. I think he's a little bit better than that black and white armored Moon Knight due to the shoulder articulation issues with him. And, you know, he has butterfly joints and he has all those little moonarangs that I done probably already lost, but I mean, it's cool. But when I do find them, I can probably come up with some good shots for it. And, like, I mean, I just think he looks great with all of my other street characters, like with Night Thrasher and Dark Hawk and Spider-Man and Punisher. Like, he just fits in everywhere. So, number 7 on my list is Marvel Legends Moon Knight, which was Walgreens exclusive. Number 6 on my list is the Rider's Punisher. I mean, what's not to like about this figure? I mean, I can name one thing, which is probably that plastic looking baseball bat that come with him, but like everything else, it pretty much screams Punisher. Sawed off shotgun, couple of machine guns, a hacksaw, a Vikings helmet for, I guess, for him to ride the motorcycle, I guess. I mean, he's a big, bulkier body, the beat up face with the band-aids, and then he has another interchangeable head. So, like, I mean, it's really not really nothing not to like about this figure. I mean, the black on black bite, I mean, it's just all Punisher and it's all good. I mean, I don't know, God knows how many Punishers I have, but like, he's the one I got on display right now out of the however many I do have. Like I said, the bike is a nice touch, a nice extra accessory for the figure. So at this rate, I'm probably gonna be collecting all the rest of the Legends line, the Legends Riders line, just because of this figure. I think it's probably a couple that I'm missing out, and I'll probably honestly never get Squirrel Girl unless I find her on sale. But number 6 on my list is Rider's Punisher. Number 5 on my list is this big giant chunk of plastic right here, Strong Guy. It's definitely nostalgia factors with this one right here. Like, I mean, I've been collecting for a very long time, and I do remember the figures that I had as a child because I don't have them anymore. So it's great to get, I guess if you want to call it a remake, because it's definitely not a remake, it's an improvement of what the original Strong Guy figure was, with the little action accessory in his back where you could swing his arms and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm glad that I got him. I actually do have some X-Force figures. I don't have all of them, but I have the ones that I need. Like when I used to collect the cars, like I can't remember all of them, but I know when I was younger I did have the like I guess the main line of the X-Force wave or team or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I'm really just glad to have him in my collection because it's been so long since he's been in my collection. So number 5 on my list, Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Strong Guy. Number 4 on my list, definitely has to be this guy. I mean, 2 words, or maybe it's 2.5 words. Kung Fu pose. So like anybody that's anybody, the reason why you collect these things called action figures is for the action in the figure. So like there's really not too much I can't do with this figure if I want to get him in an action pose. Like I really just kind of put him in a crazy pose right now, but 1 foot Kung Fu stance, you can't top that. Like I think that's one of the awesome features about this figure. And I honestly think I haven't read not 1 issue of Shang-Chi in my life. I done read Iron Fist before. I think he done been on there. I done read The Defenders. I think I done seen him on there, but I don't think I've ever just sat down and read a Shang-Chi comic book. But I think he is like a super awesome figure, and like I said, I love street level characters, and you can actually put him with other street level characters. All the interchangeable hands, like the only downside was you didn't get any wrist gauntlets, but as you can see, I improvised and put some on myself. I've seen this figure be customized as Bruce Lee, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and all sorts and such a different karate guys. So I mean, if you want to have an action figure and you never had an action figure for action, he's plenty of action. So number 4 on my list, definitely Marvel Legends Shang-Chi. Number 3 on my list, like this guy blew me out of the water when I got it. I knew I had to have him. Big guy, deep being, great articulation, Marvel Legends movie Venom. And I think this is one of the only movie figures in my top 10 list, I think. But like the way that this articulation is on this figure, for him to be so big, it's like super surprising. Like you can get him in those deep crouches, and he's like super big, and he's still imposing on a smaller big body mold. I guess that's the best way I can say it. Like out of all my other Venom figures, I just don't see any of them like really crouching like that. Like I don't see them. They can't get low into those crawling poses like he can. Like even in this walking pose I got him in, you really don't see too much wrong with how this pose is. I don't think. I mean, I can't get none of my other Venoms to do that. And like the interchangeable head, interchangeable hands, like you can't go wrong with this figure. So number 3 on my list is definitely Marvel Legends movie Venom. So number 2 on my list, who else could it be but Stan the Man Lee? And this man has had such a influential impact on our lives, mine and yours alike. I mean, I probably wouldn't even be collecting Marvel Legends if it wasn't for this guy. I probably wouldn't even be the person that I am if it wasn't for this guy. So like, to get this figure finally, I mean, the other ones were okay, and I'm glad that they did a re-release just due to the circumstances that I really don't feel like I need to discuss on this video. But yeah, I mean, he's a very strong impact on my life. How I treat myself and how I treat other people goes by what his legacy was that he taught me. I mean, the characters in the Marvel Universe are very fleshed out, and they were created by him. So, like, I mean, the articulation and all that, I mean, it does matter when you collecting figures, but like, just for this one, it's really the character himself. I'm really glad that I got this as part of my collection, and it'll stay in my collection forever. So, number 2 on my list, definitely Stan the Man Lee. And number 1, definitely number 1, is the Marvel Legends Retro Wave Spider-Man. Like, I mean, everything about this figure, including the articulation, I mean, is unstoppable. I mean, the one downside is the non-open hands. Don't get me wrong, but like, he makes up for that in articulation. I mean, if you don't have an extra pair of hands to put with him that match up, well, maybe they definitely gonna do a re-release, so you'll have another Spider-Man figure to get an extra set of hands off of to put him on this figure. But I mean, as far as everything else, the butterfly joints, the ab crunch, and like, I mean, really looking at this figure, the size that he is, it's like the smaller version of the Beast Body Mode from well, my last year top 10 list that I didn't release, that I recorded. But like, he's Spider-Man. He goes great with everything, everybody, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, however, whatever pose you want to put him in, however you want to have him fighting somebody, like, he's got it. He's got it all there. And then on top of that, I mean, you can tilt his head all the way back. You want to have him splayed out, diving in a diving pose, you can actually do that. I mean, the piece of Spidey mode was okay when it was out, but I mean, as you can see, what improvement does. So, number 1 on my list is definitely Marvel Legends Retro Wave Spider-Man. So one of my honorable mentions is Cosmic Ghost Rider. I mean, I really don't have too much to say about it, but it's a Space Punisher with a Ghost Rider head on a light cycle. I guess this was lightning cycle. I mean, it don't get more metal than that. I mean, I'm really kind of speechless. The only reason why he's not on my top 10 list is just the way that body mode is. I think that's the old Udon Taskmaster leg. So like, I mean, he's a great figure just for the character alone, that we was able to get a character like this. So, I mean, great honorable mention. Mr. Cosmic Ghost Rider right here. Another good honorable mention is the Marvel Legends Demogoblin Wave Spider Octopus Superior Spider. Like, the way that his body mode is, I mean, it's simplistic, but it works. I really like how the colors are on this figure, and just you know, the octopus tentacles that go with him. Like, it's a lot going on with him, but it really don't look like it's a whole lot going on with him. So definitely one of my honorable mentions is this guy right here, because I mean, I don't know, his design looks great to me, and like the playability factor and the articulation. One thing about that was I really thought that was gonna be the Spider-Man mode for the year, because I think I got this at the beginning of the year before the classic came out or whatever. And yeah, I think he's a great figure. The waist waist swivel is nice. The downside of the tentacles, but I mean, I was supposed to have been and modded those, but I really don't feel like doing it just yet. It'll happen eventually, but yeah, one of my honorable mentions is Octo Spidey. Another honorable mention, which is probably my last one, Winter Soldier. I mean, I got the movie Winter Soldier, but I really don't have any other Winter Soldier figures. You know, that 2-pack figure was like super expensive, so I never tried to really pull the trigger on that figure. So I'm really glad that I was able to get this figure, and the articulation is pretty cool. I think the only downside to me for this figure is I don't get a ball fist. I mean, I know Bucky usually shoots guns, but he still fights, you know what I'm saying? And he don't fight with a knife every time. He still balls a fist up and punches. So that's one of the reasons why he definitely wasn't on my list for the top 10. And like, I mean, just look at the guns. I mean, the guns that came with him in the package, they were okay, but like, he can pretty much hold any gun. If you have a gun in your case or in some drawer somewhere, you can put it in his hand and it'll work perfectly. So definitely one of my honorable mentions is Winter Soldier, aka Bucky. Well guys, that's it. That's all for my top 10 for the year. It's been a long year for me, and I'm pretty sure it's been a long year for you guys, you know. We had a lot of stuff that we got to collect this year. We had a great time. I mean, due to the circumstances, we've all been able to kind of stay home and enjoy our collections. Well, at least most of us have. You know, I appreciate you guys watching this video, and if you want to comment, go ahead and comment. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down. Let me know what I need to improve. If you actually have any answers to the questions about me and my camera at the beginning of this video, please give me those answers, because I took a whole lot of time shooting the video, and I don't have any video aside from the one that I made today to, you know, show off my pictures, because I took pictures of all the guys that's on my top 10 list. So you know the name, you know the fame. There's always life outside the hobby. Stay crispy, my friend.